What's going on, guys? So, for any of you that saw my 2022 fragrance wish list live stream that I did at the very beginning of the year, you would remember that my #1 most anticipated fragrance is the new Intense Cedrat Boise from Mancera. Well, I was fortunate enough to have the good people at Twisted Lily send me over a bottle, so yay for me. But what that means is I finally have an opportunity to smell this stuff because I hold the original Cedrat Boise in very high regard. It's one of the most recommended fragrances on this channel. I think it's a phenomenal place to start as far as a safe play when it comes to starting to dive into more higher end luxury fragrances. While this isn't the highest end, it's a great starting point in my opinion. That's why it's my default answer for first niche fragrance. So this is going to be a first impressions video. I have seen the notes. I'm not completely blind in this. I do know it's a 45% oil concentration, so that's pretty stout. We're going to bust this open, we're going to spray it, and see what it's all about. So stay tuned. Gotta love that. Bubble wrap with the Twisted Lily sticker. Very well and carefully packaged. Almost dropped it. Very well packaged. It's been a little while since I've done any video collaborations with Twisted Lily, so it's been a little while since I've seen their packaging, and they have updated it. Very carefully packed. Here we go. Intense Cedrat Boise, the 4-ounce bottle. I smell it already. Here we have it. Looks the same. The juice color is a little bit darker though. But there you see it says Intense Cedrat Boise. I'm sure it's the new magnetic caps. That indeed it is. Let's give it a spray. I'm extremely familiar with the original. We'll do a comparison and battle video down the line. You know, I want to do this first impressions. We'll do a full review in the coming weeks, and then probably do a comparison video down the line after I've spent plenty of time with this one. But let's good spray and a half. Pressurized atomizer. Does very well. Man, it definitely does smell like a more stout and potent version of Cedrat Boise. So I have to have it leaking a little bit. One of the downsides to being at altitude, high altitude, it does leak when you first spray every bottle pretty much that I get. So, wow, that is rich and warm. That is much warmer. It still smells like Cedrat Boise, but it smells like a more thick and warm and rich version, which is a true intense flanker. So right off the first sniff, I can tell you they're doing the fragrance justice with the name and the oil concentration. Just in this first sniff, it smells as advertised, because 45% oil concentration, I'm sorry, this stuff's going to last forever and ever and ever. Crazy high oil concentrations like that, they last forever. I'm getting a lot of peppery spice here, though. I want to say there's some black pepper and maybe even some pink pepper, but I'm pretty confident there's black pepper in here. I know there's Cambodian oud specifically, and some oak moss. And I do get a little bit of that oud up top, but it's more like some fresh citrus and black currant, like a lot more black currant than I get from the original Cedrat Boise. Like they've kind of changed the balance. Obviously the note breakdown's not identical, but it's very similar. It definitely has a little bit more of that Fruity Pebbles type of smell that the original's known to have. I think it's a little bit more so in this version than the original. Damn, this smells good. Super versatile. This It doesn't strike me as something I would want to wear in the summer like Cedrat Boise. That I absolutely have worn in the summer, and I recommend wearing, super crazy high heat. Maybe not the best time for Cedrat Boise, but, you know, it'll do just fine. Whereas this, I think this is a little too thick. Maybe easier on the sprays. I don't know. This very well could do just as well in every situation that the original does. But it definitely has a more warm, spicy, rich, and thick feel. It's the density's really shining through here, being a much higher oil concentration. And the warmer components, the spices and stuff like that, and the little bit of oud, it's not much. It's just a little touch. I smell it, but it doesn't overtake the fragrance. It doesn't come across more so than maybe just a touch medicinal, but it's not jumping out like a heavy oud fragrance, because if oud was so prominently featured, they probably would have had it somewhere in the name, I would think, but not a dense oud. So if you see oud, when you see oud in the notes, don't think it's changed the fragrance completely, because it hasn't. It still smells like Cedrat Boise, but a spicier version, I guess, is this most simplistic way I can put it. This is a spicier version that smells a lot heavier. It's wearing heavy. I mean, I got a gigantic sheen on my hand. Get it to focus. That would be just great. I mean, that's a spray and a half, and my entire top portion down to my wrist is covered, because it's a great pressure sensitive atomizer. Really puts out a good mist, and that's 45% oil concentration is thick. That is a heavy oil. I mean, look at how dense the yellow is. It's a lot thicker than it used to be as far as yellow. Matter of fact, here we go, just to give you a little bit of perspective here. It looks similar, but in person, the camera's not doing it enough justice. Maybe if I get out the way. It's definitely extremely similar as far as the tint of yellow, but I mean, looking through these bottles, there's a big difference in clarity. You can see how much easier you can see my shirt through this one versus how easy you can see my shirt through this one. It's definitely much, much thicker, and this is one of the, not necessarily super old bottles, but it's back when they still had screw-on caps. I think they did justice here. There's a little bit more of a lemon feel coming in now with this pepper. It's getting a little herbaceous, but the spice is toning down but not going away. It's getting a little bit herbaceous. It's probably this mossy note that they have. I think it's like some kind of white oak moss or something like that. But it's getting a little bit more green. So I feel like there's more complexity here, because the way I've always traditionally describe this fragrance is that it's a wicker basket full of fruits, because that's the main things you're going to smell. It doesn't change drastically. It's like a variety of fruitiness with that dry wicker wood smell, kind of the cedar wood that you would expect out of here, cedar wood vetiver kind of thing going on. Great fragrance. Love that fragrance. Here I think they've really stepped it up. It is a more intense smell. It is true to the original, but it's changed. Has it drastically changed? No, but there are subtle and noticeable changes, most notably the spices. If you take the density of the oil completely out of it, because I know I keep going back to that, but just scent profile alone, it's got a thicker smell. It smells like a heavier fragrance. That's why I say I don't think this would be the best choice to wear in high heat. I think Cedrat Boise, the original, would still be the better choice. But there's going to be some redundancy here overall. And if performance is number one for you, because I know that's a lot of people's gripe with Cedrat Boise, even though I get really good performance out of it, this is going to be the one that's going to perform the best. For sure. It's a 45% oil concentration. It's distinguishably thicker, heavier, stronger smelling. And I mean, again, I go back to this gigantic oil sheen from a spray and a half. This is not one I would want to spray my clothes. Very, very high oil concentration. But I gotta say, I'm loving the smell on this fragrance. This is probably the best Cedrat Boise for the cooler months into the lightly warm months. Like springtime weather right now, 70s, 80s, stuff like that as far as Fahrenheit. This will do just fine. It still has a lot of freshness up top that doesn't fade rather quickly, even though I keep pointing out the spiciness and the little bit of oud and the mossy feel that it has, a little herbaceous as it starts to dry. I don't feel like it loses enough freshness to where I would think this is too heavy of a fragrance for warmer days. Super hot days, yeah, probably wouldn't want to go this route, but warmer days like today's in the high 70s for me. If I didn't already have my scent of the day on, which is 2008 Dior Homme Sport, I would be spraying myself down with this. Probably going to wear it out the shower. At the recording of this, probably wearing this out the shower tonight. Is this crazy strong compared to what I normally would like out the shower? Absolutely. But I'm that damn excited to wear this fragrance because it's everything I hoped it would be. The anticipation and hype that I personally placed on this fragrance, just in this first impression, I feel like I'm getting what I expected. The hype is real on this one for anybody that is excited about it. I like how it smells. If you like Cedrat Boise and you just would desire better performance, this will remedy that. I'm confident this will remedy that. But note, it's pricey. You can save 10% with the discount code down in the description, but you're looking at $200 USD for this 4-ounce bottle. It's definitely pricey, but luckily it performs. At the recording of this, I believe Twisted Lily's out of stock on the 2-ounce bottles, which I know is what a lot of people are going for at the $110 price point before discount. 4 ounces going for $200, so you have to weigh it out. I would definitely get a sample first, try before you buy. It is a pricey fragrance, but damn does it smell good. Like I said, that fruity Pebbles with a little bit of spice from pepper. It's a black pepper spice. There's an herbaceous feel coming in more and more. There's just the slightest touch of oud, providing some additional woodiness to this fragrance. It's not changing drastically. It's changing ever so slightly, but I feel like it takes a long time for this to change because it's such a high oil concentration. So that's my first impressions on the new Intense Cedrat Boise. I am impressed. It's exactly what I hoped it would be. And I'm going to be wearing this in just a few hours after I shower. Well, that is my quick initial thoughts and first impressions on the new Mancera Intense Cedrat Boise. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this was the #1 fragrance on my wish list for 2022. Thank you to Twisted Lily for sending this out for me to check it out. I will be getting a lot of wear over the next several weeks with this fragrance. Full review coming soon to let you guys know how it develops on my skin, what type of performance I have had, so give you kind of a litmus test on and baseline on what to maybe expect from it. So be on the lookout for that, and we will probably do a comparison, a more detailed comparison to the original Cedrat Boise after I've spent more time with this. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Many of you have already got this. At the recording of this earlier today, I saw a Scent of the Day post in my fragrance group on my Facebook group where he had the 2-ounce bottle. I don't remember exactly who it was posted it. I apologize if you see this for not remembering who it was exactly, but I know people have had this. I know this is more recent to the States, but it's been around for a little bit. I'm just excited to finally get my hands on it. And like I said, I'll be wearing it tonight when I get out the shower. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on Intense Cedrat Boise from Mancera, you give it a spray now, who knows? Might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.